Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, again, excuse me, with Thriller, that was just a landmark occasion with this, multi-million-dollar video and his dance moves that nobody had seen before, and just a spectacular, spectacular artist.
Prince.
Prince, again, still, no one like him, completely unique. All his videos had, you knew that they were a Prince video. They had that certain vibe. You could almost smell the patchouli coming out, or the incense, I should say. And he still is. He is still an innovator. I mean, just an amazing, and I guess genius could be applied to Prince, definitely.
George Michael.
George Michael, again, an example of the British pop scene. Great singer, had the looks, the whole thing. Really a perfect example of British pop.
Definitely, and also, Duran Duran basically was hot around that period. Oh, my God. Tell me a little bit about Duran Duran.
Oh, Duran Duran, yeah. They, again, MTV and Duran Duran hand in glove. I mean, with these beautiful, lush videos by Russell Mulcahy. I mean, you were traveling to Sri Lanka without leaving your chair in your living room, with some weird woman painted like a cat, running through the jungles. And, of course, they were adorable. I mean, custom made for the camera.
Eye candy.
Oh, yeah. But they had good songs too, though. I mean, it wasn't just the looks.
Right.
They had good pop songs. I am a fan of Duran Duran.
Right. Rio, Reflex, Hungry Like the Wolf,
oh, yeah.
Notorious, the song from the James Bond movie, A Time to Kill.
A View to Kill.
Yeah. I was close.
Yeah, that was close enough.
Okay, now tell me about Aha, Take On Me, which was groundbreaking at the time.
Well, there's an interesting story behind that song. That song, Take On Me, couldn't get airplay to save the souls of the band. And the record label thought, well, MTV is there. These guys were considered the Norwegian Duran Duran over in their homeland. Nice-looking guys. We're going to spend the bucks on a cutting-edge video, which they did, and the song exploded to a #1. So the video was completely the reason for that song's success.
Now, tell me about the moment when J.J. Jackson hosted the unmasking of Kiss.
Oh, you know what? I don't remember too much about that. I'm sorry. I wasn't there. I wasn't at the studio when that happened, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, that's why there's YouTube.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I hadn't seen it. I didn't know you were going to ask me that question.
Right. Okay, now tell me about the early years of the MTV Video Music Awards.
Well, they were really fun. I mean, it was really cool. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, Madonna, that shook everybody up. And, in the early days, it didn't seem like everybody was trying so hard to be so cool and so shocking. And Madonna, the exception, obviously. But, I mean, as the years went along, it's like every year it seems like the awards tries to top themselves and be shocking just for the sake of being shocking. And I didn't really get that sense back then. I got the sense that it was a lot of fun, and it was very cool, and it was, different than, the more stodgy awards that were on network TV. But it didn't have to try so hard, and now I feel like they really try. They really try to make it huge and try and make it cool.
Definitely. And were you around MTV during the period when Kurt Loder first came to the channel?
He hadn't gotten on the air when I was there, but he had been hired.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he started right when I left, right around 87 or 88.
Now, tell me about that period when all the original VJs started to leave and MTV was taking a more, okay, we can sort of not focus more on the videos, but develop more shows.
I had left by then. I had left by then, and I was so busy. I went over to Entertainment Tonight and had a syndicated radio show, and was also doing Solid Gold. So I didn't even have time to watch MTV. I know Remote Control was the first, if I'm remembering correctly, the first non-music programming show. But I really, I didn't even really have time to watch the channel. I really didn't. I was so busy.
Because basically after that time period when all the originals left, that's when they brought in Adam Curry, Downtown Julie Brown, Julie Brown, Kevin Seal, that whole crew. Then they had shows like Club MTV, Just Say Julie, Remote Control.
Right.
And basically it was like the second wave MTV.
Right. And I wasn't there then, and like I said, I didn't really watch it. And as far as like Real Life, that show that really brought reality TV to the forefront, I never saw an episode in my life of it. I'm not into that reality programming. It's like, God, I live in a reality. Why do I want to watch it,
Right.
And it's not really real. On top of it, it's a bunch of bad things,
Right. And
again, forced, pretending that it's real, have a sitcom,
what's like the most memorable video that you remember liking being aired on MTV? One that's like, oh my God.
Well, there were a bunch of them again, I remember one that I particularly really, really loved. I just thought it was beautiful. It was Fleetwood Mac's Gypsy. And then I really liked Tom Petty, Don't Come Around Here No More. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now, was there any controversy or tension between the VJs and people behind the scenes, as opposed to like, okay, I want to do this, but like, no, you can't do that?
Not with us, not with the five of us, no. We were pretty good sports. I mean, we were good VJs. But I think, there might have been with a couple of the others after we left, from stories I heard. But I mean, we would have our share of frustration with wanting to do something, but we wouldn't go ahead if we were told not to do it. We wouldn't deliberately do something. We would be upset maybe, but we'd do what was asked. We were good VJs.
So basically you guys kept in line and stayed on the P's and Q's.
Well, I think we tried to. We didn't always do it without saying something, about it. But, basically we, we did, yeah.
Now tell me about that period when MTV did Live Aid.
That was a wonderful, wonderful day, spectacular day, historic event. It was just amazing. JJ was in London, and the rest of us were in Philadelphia. And really, basically, what they said about people checking their ego at the door was true. I mean, everybody, see backstage, you'd see Chrissy Hine talking to Bill Graham and Jim Kerr over there, hanging out, and it was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Because definitely looking back on like old MTV specials and stuff and seeing the clips of Live Aid, I was like, to get all of those superstar acts on one bill in different parts of the world is just, like you probably won't see nothing like that now.
Well, they're talking about Live Earth. That's going to happen the 7th of July. That's supposed to be the biggest concert ever, going from everywhere. But at the time, Live Aid was, that was the biggest, and it was amazing.